Hiya, this is Linda Lee and welcome back to my channel. Today I am working on a boho theme bag and tag swap. So it's 2 bags and 2 tags for Shelly, a friend of mine in the Junk Journal Junkies etc. group that I'm admin to. So I've been going through kind of everything that I own that's somewhat boho. This I actually just found. It's like a curtain panel. I just got it at Goodwill this morning. It was a green tag and green was the 50% off. So I got this whole curtain panel for like $1.50. So I think I'm going to use this. I wanted to do something a little different, at least that's different for me. And I think I'm going to do kind of like a fabric lined envelope and just make it look like a bag. And that I think I'm going to use this. I pulled out a bunch of other stuff that I had set aside. I kind of have project boxes and I have a whole bunch of stuff that's put together for boho. I have this scarf that was in there that I forgot I even had. I think I actually got this at a thrift shop. And these little sequin looking things are actually glued on. They have little circle holes in them though, so I'm going to stitch them on just to make sure that they stay on. But I think I'm going to kind of use these because they look really cool together. I've got some boho bundles that I have actually purchased from Kelly Snow, the Bygones Variety Shop in Etsy. That I haven't really used. I think this one I've taken apart and kind of neatly put it back together. I don't think it's the full kit. I did use something in here. I don't remember exactly what because everything that I've done I've really given away. But we're going to take a look at these just to see if there's some additional pieces that I can use for embellishing. I have this little piece of upholstery trim that matches it almost perfectly. I've got this really pretty pink that kind of coordinates really well with even if I use the raspberry color somewhere. I have these beads. This was a trim that I've had for probably 30 years. I had purchased it on a great big plastic spool. Let's see if I can get it to, I can do it down here. Does this show on camera? And I've still got not that much left of it. I've hung it on almost everything I've ever made furniture wise. I've put it on lampshades. I've trimmed an ottoman. So I've used this a lot. This really kind of goes pretty cool though with what I'm potentially going to do color wise. And then I have a couple of other little trims. This one doesn't have too much going on it, but I can, you know, embellish it with something pretty. And then this is a little on the neutral side as well. But yeah, I've got a whole bunch of stuff. I have a couple of my own boho beads that I've made that I'm going to include. So I've got this larger one. I don't know, here, do I have? I started to make like oversized tags, but I'm going to wait till I get the bags done before I do that. So there's the boho beads, if you can see them. I have some other, you know, sparkly embellishments in this box. This is one of the boxes that I keep close at hand when I do like snippet rolls and stuff like that. I've got different cameos. I don't know if a cameo really falls into the boho theme, but I've got, you know, the fancier, prettier pieces. I've got necklace pieces. These used to belong to a pair of earrings, so I don't know if, you know, I'll sew something like that into my project, but I've got a few different things that I can potentially use. Oh, that one's kind of cute. I don't know. But I'm going to look at that, especially once it gets, you know, for the most part finished. Well, I started to cut some paper for envelopes. These are nice oversized tags. The paper, I just like the green. And then these are like craft paper color, I guess you call it. So this is like 4.5, I think, wide. And so I want to make an envelope that is like 5 by 8. And then instead of having it sideways, do I have an envelope over here? I don't think so. I'm going to turn it up on its end and use the flap on the end as the top of the bag. So that's my thought anyway. Let me kind of move a bunch of stuff aside without making too much of a mess. And I'm going to bring up my paper cutter because I'm going to make the envelopes on my Memory Keepers envelope punch board. And the size bag that I wanted to do, where is it? It's like 5 by 8. 5 by 8.5. So I need a piece of paper that's 10 3/4 of an inch square. I already picked out 2 pieces of paper. I gave this a little bit of thought before, I came on camera. I didn't want to be doing it totally off the cuff. So it was 10 3/4, right? So 10 3/4 and 10 3/4. And this is going to be the inside of my envelope. I'm going to actually glue that curtain panel that I bought today to the white side or blank side of this paper. And 3/4. Okay. It's 4 1/8. So if you've never used one of these punch boards, they're actually really cool, and it's nice to be able to make your own custom envelopes. It gives you all the measurements of the different envelope sizes right here. And then the trick is that your paper be a true square. If it's not square, this doesn't work at all. And a lot of people have a little bit of issue of it. I do have a video where I made some envelopes from before. So I'll tag that in the description. But all I'm doing is I'm punching the edge, and then there's a seam right under here that tells me where to fold. So, and then actually I'm going to go to the opposite side since the paper is bigger. That's kind of my little trick, is I just do the opposite side first, because this edge goes off and I can't really go all the way to the edge without, because the board isn't that big. But then I turn it over and do my punch and then do this punch. And then you can line this up with that edge and get this little crease in there. See? I don't know if you can see that, but now I'm going to line up this with this crease. And you can kind of see where they meet over here. And I'm going to put that crease in. Alright. So let's actually do the other one before I put the punch board aside. So 4 1/8. Flip it over 4 1/8. And 4 1/8. So you can kind of see the envelope take its shape. And then I'm just going to line up that crease and line up that crease. Okay, so this is going to be my bag instead of an actual envelope. I'm going to fold the color on the inside, so it's going to be like a paper lined bag, and I'm ultimately going to glue my fabric to the outside. Now this here, these overlaps here don't need to be quite that big, so I think what I'm going to do is just cut them. At least maybe one of them. And also this point, this punch board has a little round. So I'm going to cut the bottom round. The top, I think what I might do is maybe, I'm not sure what. No, I'm going to round it too. Okay, so the short ends round. Thanks for helping me work through it. Not that you have much choice. Well, I guess you do. You don't have to watch, right? But I'm really, really glad you're here. So, I think, I know I got a lot of gadgets. You can just use regular scissors, but I am going to just kind of roughly cut that off. That way, I don't know if it really looks like a bag. Hopefully it'll look like a bag, because I'm going to trim it up on the bottom. And we'll do the same thing on this one. Okay, so now I need to cut some fabric. Welcome back. I've been kind of working this out a little bit, and I trimmed the other side, so I have the two flat edges on my envelope faux bag, and I trimmed the paper to a rectangle all the way around, trimming off the seams and everything. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use glue stick, and I am going to put glue stick just in this part right here.
And glue it directly to the fabric, because when you fold, I don't want to create wrinkles in the fabric. So I am just going to glue this down so that I can fold it the way I want to. Center this, and hopefully this will work. We'll find out, right? I think you can kind of see what I'm doing, at least in theory, right? Because when this folds, if I glue it all flat, it's going to pull. Now granted, while it's damp, if it pulls, that's okay, but I want to let this dry first before I do that. So that purple will dry clear. I'm just going to work out any potential bubbles and move on to the other piece of fabric because I want this to be dry before I start manipulating it anymore.
That one's pretty. Let me see about this one. I'm not sure if it'll tear. Nope. See, with the silks, usually they tear one way and not the other, so. But sometimes, if the fabric is sturdy enough, it will go the other direction. This one, as you can see, is fairly delicate, so that didn't work. But, look at how cool it'll look lining this.
Okay. So we're going to do that same thing again.
Alright, so now that both of them are all glued, I'm going to do a little sewing. So I'm going to sew around the edges and then trim off the excess. What color is this? This is a dark brown. Yeah, I can use this for both of them, I guess. So I'm kind of glad that's done. I just need to, I think, just trim the sari a little bit so that it's closer to the paper. But first, I'm going to glue this down. Man, this is a lot of work. More than I was expecting. This would have been a lot easier if I had just done it all fabric. So I definitely know now that next time I make a bag and tag and I want to use fabric, it's going to be all fabric when it comes to the bag. I love the way it turned out. I mean, I'm happy, but holy moly. So my 2 bags. Ta-da! I'm going to kind of show you where I'm at, show you how it evolved, and then finish it and get it in the mail finally. When I made the 2 bags, I figured, well, let's connect them, attach them, so that they could potentially be together in a journal. So this is the second bag. And what I did is I connected them. I actually attached them with a piece of lace in between. And I figured, well, if Shelly doesn't want to put them in any kind of journal, she can just, you know, cut straight down the middle, or she can follow this little lace line and, you know, rough up the edges. So this way, she'll have the 2 bags and the tags. But then, okay, it's okay when you were watching, but now you can't be in the middle. Come here. Come here. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to show you kind of, because I have everything stuffed in its pockets. Not everything is complete with the decoration just yet, but I have most everything pretty much the way it's going to be. Let me show you this before I show you what I have going on over here. So, bag number 1 and its decoration. I have a little pocket in the front here where I've got some little tags that I've made, and I just stuffed a little organza bag in there because I kind of like the color contrast. So I've got this stuff stuffed in this little bag or pocket right here. So it's not very tag heavy, I would say. There's definitely tags in every little pocket, but Alright, so that's the front. We open it, and this here, remember I was making the large tags? Well, this is the top of the tag that I folded, and then what I did is I glued it here and here, and actually ended up making a pocket out of that tag. I've got some little Velcro dots here, so it just kind of lightly will stay closed. These are the tags that fill that little pocket. I've got, you know, one little, two little, and then a tiny little pocket that I still have to put something in it yet. So those go inside this little pocket. And then I've got another little Velcro dot right here. So I got a piece of sari. Now almost every embellishment that's on here came from the one of two little Kelly's little bundles that I had, remember? This is a piece of that trim. The burlap is mine, and this one piece here I had before, but all of these little pieces, these all came from Kelly's bundle. This bead came from Kelly's bundle. Remember, these were mine, and this is mine, but this came from Kelly. These came from Kelly. All of the little fabrics on top of this tag came from Kelly, and that was hers, as well as this little piece that is from hers too. So there were a lot of little elements that came from her bundle. I wanted to show you I have little dots here, and I ended up putting like little journal papers in the individual bags or envelopes that are on their side. But this is my loose interpretation of a bag. So anyway, these papers actually came from Steffi and her shop. So this here, I think she uses Kool-Aid. So I've got some Kool-Aid papers here, and the ones that are on the outside were a little, I think, overdone in the oven, but they are absolutely gorgeous, and I wanted to use them because I just love the texture and the color, kind of like what's going on here. So I have that tied with the wax thread, and I'm going to probably put charms on these. And I turned it so this was on the inside on purpose, and I'm going to show you in a moment, so that the charms will hang on the inside. The other side is the other paper tag that I was working with. So again, I just kind of folded it so we got a couple of little journal spots and little Velcro dot, and then a few more little bitty tags. Well, not bitty, but they're not huge. So this is some design paper and some sari silk and trim that I got from Bygone's Variety. And this one here, I don't remember where I got this paper from. I think I printed this one from one of those domain free sites. And then this is just a little offcut from one of the other tags. So those little things go into that pocket. This one opens up. So these buttons came out of my stash. And this ruffle was that pink trim that I basically I put a straight stitch through it and then just pulled the bobbin thread and made a ruffle, and then stitched it onto the paper. But I have another little Velcro dot here with another little bundle of Stephanie's papers. So, oh, this one I put a couple of other different papers in there too. That goes in this pocket. These little pieces came from Kelly's bundles, and then looking at the back, these pieces all came from her bundles too. So we've got this orange, these gold pieces, and being that this is kind of the back, I didn't put a pocket here, only because you know how we don't necessarily decorate the back of a journal. Not that this is a journal, but guess what? Once I kind of looked at how big this was, I figured, how about I make a signature that's removable? So if she doesn't want to use this as a journal and she wants to cut them apart, she can do that. So this here is just kind of me working kind of the whole thing out. I haven't sewn this together yet. There's, I think, maybe 15 or so pieces of paper here in this signature, so it'll give her 30 pages. And then I just use these T-pins to kind of figure out my spacing, because this here will be the part that goes against the lace. These brads will come out and poke through the lace and then open back up and hold this hidden signature into the book. Well, so that'll be the spine. The brads will be on the outside, and then this here is just, you know, a lace spine. And then now, instead of being, you know, 2 bags and tags, it's a little journal. I guess I finally made my boho journal, or at least one. So we've got the dangles and the pockets and a removable signature, pages, and then, you know, the other bag. So that's where I'm at. I'm about to sew this together. So I figured I'd let you guys kind of hang out with me, and I can edit this to death so that it's not too long. The first 20 minutes or 23 minutes of this video was edited down from 3 hours. So I wanted to try and keep this under like 45 minutes altogether. So with that being said, let's get started on this. Now, I usually do use these pins to poke holes in my signatures. Basically, again, making the hole, priming the hole for my needle. Where is my needle? Oh, here it is. I'm just going to use some wax thread that I got from Bygone's Variety. And when you do a signature and you're tying it, you need basically about 3 lengths of what you're working on, and I usually go a little bit more. Now I'm going to do this particular one so that it ties inside in the middle. The other ones I tied on the outside of the middle, the ones that are inside my bags here. So think about this for a second. So in, out, in. So I want to go in this way. Let's take out I want to go in that hole, in this hole, and I want to go out this hole on the top. I am going to use Betty's technique though, where I'm going to use the middle hole and put everything through that hole at the same time, so that way I don't potentially split my thread. Okay, so there is that one. Now I just put the other string through, I'm going to go through the middle hole at the same time with both ends. So now I don't potentially split one of my threads. And I just need something to grip this. My hand strength isn't what it should be. Alright, and I'm going to go through this middle piece. I already got the hole poked. Looks like I'm missing the very middle hole. Okay, use this again. Okay. So now we just go to the either side of this piece here. Okay, see that? And I'm going to tie it. Going to tie it again. And we'll make a little bow. Okay, and more than likely I'll probably put little charms on here. I'm just going to trim them for the moment so they're not so long. So do you kind of understand how this is a removable signature? So this here, normally on a hidden spine, this would be wider, and it gets glued down and overlaps this little crease piece here. I forget what that's actually called. So what's going to happen is these brads are removable. You can take them off. At least I hope you can take them off. Yeah, see, you'll be able to pull these out. I don't really want to take it all apart and manhandle it too much, just in case. Should I put it together and just ship it that way? What do you think? Here. Alright. So I'm going to take this brad out. I'm going to take this brad out. And now I'm not going to glue it in. I'm just going to poke my brads through the lace. Put this together. And then we'll open the brads on the inside and we'll hold it together. See? So this will just open up. And it can be removed. So I'm going to have to send instructions with this little bag and tag swap. I don't know, I guess I didn't follow instructions very well, huh? Hopefully she'll like it. Alright, so that brad here, oh, I put it back together. And she can use whatever brad she has, so if she doesn't like these squares, she can use her own brads. You see what I'm doing? So I got it poked through, and now I'm just going to open up that brad. So now that signature is held in the book by those two brads. Okay, so other than a little bit more decorating with some charms, I want to attach the boho beads that I'm going to use. Oh, let's do this side. It's a little prettier. I've got this boho bead and this boho bead. I need to put a couple little dangles or charms on there, and then I'm going to be done. So this cute little bag and tag project ended up being almost like, what, 9 hours of production. Shelly, I hope you don't mind, and I hope you like it. It's kind of portable, so you can kind of do, I don't know if anyone's ever done a removable spine before, but there you go. If you ever want to do one, now at least you have kind of an idea. I could probably put 2 more brad holes. Actually, I could even do 4 because they make the tiny brads. I could put 1 on either side, you know, more in the middle to secure it even better. But for what it is, a bag and tag, I don't think I'm going to poke more holes in it. So I just got to restuff the pockets, and that'll be done. Oh, the stuff that we do, the evolution of this craft is incredible. It's very normal for me to have something totally different than what I started with. So there's a lot of strings in this. Maybe I'll eliminate some of this and just cut them short. Or just leave it up to you, Shelly. You can do what you want. And then this and this little guy. This says, can you see it? Enjoy life. And that's what we got to do, right? One day at a time, one project at a time. There we are. Ta-da! All right, everybody. I'm going to go play a little bit more, and then I'll take a couple of pictures, and this project is done. All right. Have a great night, day, wherever you are. Thanks again, guys. Bye-bye.